Hello, my name is Jen and I'm going to be your nurse today, and today I'm going to be administering tube feeding to you, okay? So let me just get you pulled up in my computer here. Can you please state your name and date of birth for me? Okay, thank you. Just check your wristband. Alright. And I'm just verifying the order just to make sure that this is the right feeding for the right patient, the right type of feeding, route, dosage, and rate and time. Okay. Alright. So do you have any questions about the tube feeding for me today? No? Okay. So I'm just going to go ahead and start by just need to listen to your vowel sounds here. Alright. So I heard active vowel sounds, which is good. If there were absent vowel sounds, that could be a sign of ileus, and we would contact the prescriber because we don't want to be administering food to somebody whose bowel is not active. Alright, so first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and shake the formula up, and I'm just going to check the condition, inspect the cleanliness and the expiration date. Alright, and this is already at room temperature, okay? I've had it out for a little while, so we were letting it get down to room temperature. Alright, and then I'm going to go ahead and just assess your nostrils here just to make sure that we're still in good shape. Okay, everything looks good, and it looks like the tube is still in the right place. I have the line that I put in when I inserted this tube. It's still in the right place, so everything looks good that way. And then we're going to go ahead and get the pump set up. Okay. So what I'm going to do next is I'm just going to be verifying the tube placement. I know that it's already in the right, it's still placed. I've checked the first method, which is verifying the mark, and my next method is going to be by withdrawing aspirin and checking the pH. Alright, so if the pH is below 4, then we know we're good with that. And then the last thing that we're going to do is we're going to check the residual volume to make sure that there's not already too much in the patient's stomach. So we're going to go ahead and withdraw here. Alright, and it looks like we have about 50 milliliters of residual, so we are good to go. If it was more, then we really don't want it to be over 100. So then what we're going to do is we're going to slowly give that residual back to the patient. And then I'm going to go ahead and flush the line with saline. Okay. And then I'm going to go ahead and just connect the tubing here because we are all set to go. And we're going to connect the tubing on the feeding pump to the nostril tube here, to the feeding tube. And then I'm going to go, what I would do is I would have it looped through the feeding pump, and then I would set the rate on the feeding pump before I hit start. And then we would let that go until the feeding is complete. And once the feeding is completed, then what we would do is we would disconnect the tube, and then we're going to go ahead and flush this, because if you leave the feeding formula in the tube, then it can get clogged, and that would be not good. So then I'm going to go ahead and keep your head up We're going to probably stay in the Fowler's position for a while just to prevent any from the food to come back up. So then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to document the feeding and my patient's response to the feeding, as well as any adverse reactions to the feeding. And I'm going to clean up, give my patient the call light, and you just call me if you need anything, okay? Thank you.